Okay. Hello, guys. Welcome to day 3 of 5 of the masterclass on sales by Dinefolio and No Code Africa. So we don't have anybody right now on the show. So we're going to just hold off a little bit while we drop a link on the community, reminding people that we have gone live. Okay. All right. So just sit back when you finally join and then you hear this. You can drop a comment letting us know where you're joining from, and then we will start right away. Okay, so I think I've seen one person so far on the call. Okay, two people so far. So please, if you've just joined us, you can just drop a comment. Let us know where you're joining from, and we will greet you right back too. So welcome to day 3 of 5 of the masterclass on sales. This is going to be like a very amazing session that will be handled by Mr. Peter, who will talk so much about visibility. Okay, so we have here uh, Onyinye, welcome to the 3 of 5. Uh, Favor, welcome as well. Etimbok, welcome. All right, so I'm gonna try to, uh, announce it on the group that we have started so that we can have a good number of people joining us this evening for this amazing session that we're going to have. Okay, I think Peter has already done that. So let me try to put it on my WhatsApp status. You can also put it on your WhatsApp status, letting people know that there's an amazing masterclass happening right now, and it's for free. It's basically about one of the most uh, most amazing skills that anybody would want to have, which is sales. Because in life you need to like understand how to sell, otherwise you're going to actually remain poor forever. That's the truth, except you're already born into wealth, and you still need to be able to sell to maintain the wealth, because wealth always grows wings and flies away. All right, so let's just give some time. So this is a 3 minutes past 7. Let's just give some time until we can have a good number of people. I wish I could play music. So yeah, so but then let's see how we can uh wait for a bit. So we have Abasiono joining from Lagos State. Welcome. We have okay, this is one of my students, my no code students. Welcome, Favor. Thank you for joining again. All right, so okay, so we'll just wait for more people to join. So if you're live on the masterclass right now, please just drop a comment for us. Don't be shy. Let us know where you're joining from and let us know how you're doing, and we'll be sure to just flag it here that we recognize you. Magdalene, welcome, joining from Akwa Ibom. Great. Okay, so let's just hold off a bit and wait for more people to come. As you join, just drop a comment for us, and we'll be excited to hail you back. Okay, so we have more people joining. Okay, I can see here that we have uh, Andy Hope joining from Port Harcourt. We have ATSC joining from Uyo, and Niekeme. Welcome. Niekeme is joining from Uyo as well. Um, okay. So Andy Hope is joining from Port Harcourt. Okay. All right. So we need more people to join actually, because what we are going to share tonight is super valuable, and we need a lot of people to be here to get this information. So please, one of the things that you can do for us this night is just go ahead and share it on your WhatsApp status, drop it on your Facebook, let people know that okay, there's something amazing happening here. So we're going to start the class in the next 4 minutes. That's 10 minutes past 7. So let's use this time and get a lot of persons joining us right now. Thank you. Okay, so the number is increasing. We're doing good. So, as Asaka Brown said, I'm in a better location today. I hope for the network to hold till the end of the class. We hope so for you as well. So, Hope Ikmayong said, I quick come today. Okay. So we have oh, okay, this is amazing. We have someone joining from London. Ezekiel Ben. Glad to have you here. Peter is saying, good evening, everyone, and welcome to day 3. Peter is the one that will handle the session for tonight. He's going to be talking about visibility. And the idea is simple. All right. Without proper visibility, no one is going to know what you're good at. No one is going to know what you're selling. So you have to figure out ways to stay visible so that you can sell. Without visibility, you can't make any sale. All right. Off for no. Welcome. Emrago D. Welcome as well. Okay. So we have like a minute left. Yeah, we can relate. As a Habran, we can actually relate to this. Okay. Hope said, I'm ready to learn from Mr. Peter. Good, good, good. All right. Sarah Ubong, welcome. Nibbles, Cake, and more, welcome. All right. So we are ready. Okay. So, guys, once again, welcome to day 3 of 5 of the masterclass on sales. This particular session is going to be centered around visibility. All right. And just a preamble, or let me give you like an idea of why visibility is like very important before Peter just jumps right in and then kills it all. All right. So now, in the past, I've like built a lot of products myself. I built a lot of things. I've done Piston Spark PLC. We recycled lead from sports car batteries into organic solar panels back in 2016. Then I've built it failed. Then Rocky Shelf in 2017. So it's more like an online directory for university students to download their study materials. It failed. Then Space came. Actually, Space succeeded because we had like really good visibility because of the location of the co-working space. And then eventually I built a lot of other things too. One of the things that made No Code Africa a success, as at the time we started, was the fact that we first of all created a YouTube channel. Now the YouTube channel was designed for me to share my knowledge of building apps without coding, but then it also saved like a very huge tool for visibility, because at the time that I started the YouTube channel, right, teaching people how to build apps without coding, right, I also signed up on Upwork, and then I started creating courses on Udemy. But the good stuff was that as I created course on Udemy, right, if it stays there like that on its own, I won't make sales. It will just be very sluggish. But since I already had, proper visibility on the Local Africa YouTube channel, once I have the course on Udemy, all I just need to do is come and provide some free parts of that wholesome course, maybe 20% or 50% of the course for free here on the YouTube channel. Then tell the students and my audience to go and buy the complete thing on Udemy if they are interested. And yes, they were always interested, made like lots of, income, selling on Udemy because of the visibility that YouTube gave me. And then also I used to like write a whole lot on LinkedIn, talking and tooting my horns myself, and then it was able to like drag like lots of visibility to what I was doing. So without the right visibility, you're not going to do fine in business. And that's exactly what Mr. Peter is going to share with us tonight, helping us know how to stay visible, helping us to know the right way of getting visibility and the wrong ways of getting visibility, and lots more. So I'm basically here with my my diary, my jotter, and with my biro. So I'm gonna like take lots of notes, and I would like you to do the same thing, as we're going to be like learning a whole lot of things from Mr. Peter. Mr. Peter, welcome. Thank you very much for accepting to be here, and deciding to share your knowledge with this amazing community of salespeople. Thank you very much. And Mr. Alfred, thank you also for being here, because you're going to assist us in responding to some questions and comments probably that I found in the comment section. Thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Peter, over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. David, for the preamble. Like he has said, I'm going to introduce you to the concept of visibility pertaining to who you are as a sales rep, because visibility is wide, it's very wide, but we want to tailor it to how useful it is to you as a salesperson, not just any form of visibility. So that is what we are going to cover today. I don't know if you can see my slide. If you can see my slide, let me know. Can you see my slide? Yo, wow. So for the purpose of this visibility, we are going to use what we call the IDA framework to understand our buyer's journey. Most of you might have heard about the IDA framework, especially if you are in marketing. You might have heard about the buyer's framework or the IDA framework. I'm going to help you understand how it relates to you as a salesperson and how you can use it to get visibility to sell whatever product or service you are selling as a tech sales rep. So everything is connected to everything. That's one thing I want you to understand as we start. Everything is connected to everything. Every content you share online, every event you attend, every person you meet that fits into your ideal customer profile, everything is connected to everything. So once you understand this, you have to be very, very intentional with the way you carry yourself as a sales professional. You have to carry yourself with purpose, meaning that you have to target the right prospects. This is where it all starts. For you to be able to close a sale, for you to get visible, to get the visibility that leads to sale, you have to target the right people. Not everybody is your customer. Everybody is not your customer. So you're not just talking about visibility, but we are talking about being visible to the right people at the right time. So once you understand that everything is connected to everything, you have to be intentional. And one of the intentionality you have to carry in mind is being purposeful with the right audience, the right people you are talking to. You're not just talking to everybody, you're talking to the right audience. Now, another thing you want to understand is consistency, your consistent presence. We'll talk about this much later, but consistency is like compound interest. You have to be consistent for you to make sales. Yesterday, Mr. Alfred talked about people who are dominant buyers. Those are the people who can just outrightly buy whatever you're selling. But for that set of people, you have to be consistent and show up every day, maybe every week, to communicate your value or the value of what you're selling, or either as a service or as a product. So consistency is very important. Without consistency as a salesperson, you cannot make sales. Now, there's always an exception to the rule. There are people who have a lot of charm as salespeople. They can easily close a sale in 48 hours, meeting their prospect. But for others, you have to be consistent enough to show up every week, follow up with your customers or your prospects, and then close that sale. So you have to be intentional with being consistent when you are a salesperson. This will help you with your visibility. Now, focus. Focus is another thing because we live in a world of so many distractions, right? So many distractions. If you want to be successful as a salesperson and you want to be visible to the right audience, you have to have your focus. Focus in the sense that you have to make sure that your visibility efforts align with your sales goal as a sales rep. There are people who just show up online, they are visible. That's okay. But you have to be very intentional that as a salesperson, your visibility, your effort as a salesperson when it comes to visibility is aligned with your business goals. Subsequently, we are going to hold workshops telling you how to set goals as a salesperson, because that's another very important thing. Not just about waking up in the morning, waking up in the week, or preparing for the week without having a proper sales goal target for your business. So you have to have that in mind. Now, when it also comes to focus, you have to concentrate your artwork in a particular platform. That means you don't have to be everywhere. You don't have to stress yourself. Only you're on TikTok, you're on LinkedIn, you're on Instagram, you're on YouTube, you're on Facebook, WhatsApp, Pinterest. No, you don't need all those platforms for you to consistently make sales as a sales rep. You have to pick at least two or three. Three is the maximum number, not more than three. And make sure these platforms have your target audience. So be intentional with your purpose, your consistency, and your focus. Now, let's move to the next step. I want you to understand that the modern buyer's journey has changed as a salesperson. We live in a world that is very, very overwhelming with a lot of information. So today's buyers are very, very informed and they are very independent, especially if you are selling an ITK product. You have to they've already learned how to research. They've already compared the kind of solutions they have to their problems. And then they already compile the solution they already have an idea who they're about to go with. So you cannot just show up selling to a buyer of today, especially if you are selling an ITK product. By an ITK product, we are talking about products or services. If we look at the economic situation of our country, I'm going to categorize an ITK product, let's say somewhere between 300,000 upwards. So if someone wants to spend that kind of money to solve their problem, you have to understand that already they have done their research. So if you want to show up as a salesperson, who wants to make a sell to a product or who wants to sell them a service, you have to show up with the idea that these people know their problems. They already know their problems. And by the way, if you plan to sell, only sell product and services with a lot of awareness on the client aspect. We're going to talk more on that. So to wrap this up, I just want you to understand that the modern buyer's journey has changed. Everybody you want to sell to, either you are selling a service or a product, which is an high ticket product in this sense, portfolio, you need to understand that they already have an awareness to their problems and they're already finding solutions, actively in search of the solutions to their problems. So you cannot just show up with the concept of trying to re-educate them on their problems. You have to show up correctly with the enough knowledge to close that sale, not just for you to start educating them on their problems. Of course, you need to educate them on what your product solve or on how your product works or the solutions you provide, but that is not really relevant to getting them the solution to their problems. So understand that the modern buyer's journey has changed. They are very, very aware about whatever problems and the solutions available to solve their problems. So that's one thing you need to understand. Now, like we said, nowadays their clients are already doing the research, they're comparing the prices, and they're shortlisting products independently without your help. So once you show up, you're showing up with something they want, not just something that can be a prospective solution to the problems they have. You have to structure that problem that solution you have into something substantial for them so that you can close that sale. That's one thing you need to note. Now, most of you might know Grant Cardone, which is the author of the 10 times rule. Said obscurity is your biggest enemy. If people don't know you exist, they cannot buy from you. I decided to reframe this. Obscurity as a salesperson is your enemy. If people don't know that portfolio exists as a product, they cannot buy from us as sales reps. So you have to make sure that you sell to these people. If you are religious here, there's a popular Bible portion that says you cannot light a candle and put it under the table. You have to light that candle and put it on top of the table so that the room can be well lit. So if you are obscure, that means your product or service is not visible enough. How do you expect to sell? So if you are not visible enough, presenting your solutions to the problems your client has, they will not know you exist. So this is why visibility is very, very important, which is what Mr. David opened with. Visibility is very, very important. So you need to have the opportunity to make sure that your product and services are visible. So the question is, how do you stay visible? How do you stay visible? Now, there are so many ways I can introduce visibility to you, but subsequently, I'm going to be carrying a lot of workshops. We're going to show you how to create content to sell the products you have and the services you have. We're going to show you how to leverage advertising. I'm talking about Meta ads, Instagram ads to sell the products. But for now, I'm going to introduce visibility as a concept to lay the foundation so that subsequently, when we do these workshops, you're already familiar with the concept. So how do you stay visible? Now, let's use the IDA framework, which is the awareness, interest, desire, and action. But we are going to look at this framework from the lens of sales, not marketing. Most of us might be aware of this framework from marketing, and advertising and writing and advertising copy and all those stuff. But we have to look at this IDA framework from the lens of sales, how useful it is to you as a sales rep. So let's look at the awareness stage. This is where it all begins. The awareness stage is where everything begins. Because If people don't know you, or if people don't know you as people don't know that they have a problem, they cannot buy from you. And if people are not actively looking for the solutions to their problem, they won't be able to buy from me as well. So the awareness stage is where everything begins. So the awareness stage is the foundation of every sale. Before any deal can happen, your prospects must recognize they have a problem, and you must make them aware that you have the solution. So there are two parts here. We have the client's part and your part. The client's part and your part. Just like I said, you don't want to sell a product that you have to start re-educating your clients about their problems. And then you also have to educate them about the solutions you have. That's going to extend your buyer's journey or their buyer's journey. You don't want to sell product or services like that. You only want to sell product and services that the clients are already aware of their problems, and they are also actively searching for solutions to their problem, so that you can cut short the sales journey by just presenting the solutions to them. So you have to make sure your client is present where your buyers are, or you have to be present where your buyers are looking for and are searching for the solution to their problem. And then you also have to make sure your prospects are aware that you have the solutions. So the best way for you to do this, which is the first step, if you're writing, this is the first step to everything you need to do when you want to make sales. In terms of visibility, initiate conversations. Initiate meaningful conversations with your prospects. This is where it starts. You have a product you've done. First of all, you need to design your ideal customer profile. By that I mean, who are you trying to sell to? Who are you trying to sell to? There is a very, very simple scenario my coach and my mentor usually shares with me. Said if, for instance, now you want to sell, let's say maybe this phone. Phones are more like commodities now, but I'm going to give you a simple demonstration. Let's say you want to sell this phone, right? And you walk into a mall and you see your prospective clients. How do they look like? How do they dress? What is their How do they behave? If you see them live in person, how can you describe them? So first of all, you need to understand your ideal customer profile. How do they think? How do they look? Can they afford your product or service? Very important, because we want to collect their money in exchange for the value we are providing for them. Do they have the problems that you are providing the solutions for? And then, is this problem painful enough for them to exchange that value with you to solve these problems? This is very, very important, because most of you might know your customers. They might fit into everything, your ideal customer profile. But if this one thing is missing, you cannot close that sale, which is the pain of that problem. Are they willing to solve that pain in exchange for the solutions you provide? So the first step you want to do is to initiate meaningful conversations with your prospects. And there are so many ways you can do this. For a product like that, like Dinefolio, you have to meet the clients. I know some of you might say, I'm very shy, I don't have courage, I don't have confidence to walk up to people to sell. See, it might take a while for you to build that confidence, but you definitely cannot shy away from sales. If you know that you are hungry for sales, if you're hungry for if you're hungry to make money, if you have the desire and passion to make a name for yourself, you have to decide as an adult to dump that mindset that I'm shy, I'm not confident enough, I'm not courageous enough. No, you have to. You have to be. Actually, there are ways for you to learn confidence as a skill, but you have to have that mindset that it is this or nothing. You have to find a way to to get that away from you. Get rid of that mindset. Everybody can learn courage, everybody can build confidence, and everybody can sell. Once you understand these three things, you're unstoppable. So a good way for you to start, which is not really part of this conversation, but one thing I can share with you is a concept called exposure therapy, where you get to expose yourself to certain environments that help you build confidence. And then you can write this down. I want you to go and check out one guy on Facebook. The name of his page is Daily Rejection. What the guy does is that he goes to people, he meets people every day, asking them favors in very silly things. For example, he can walk into a cafe and ask them if he can change their Wi-Fi password. The purpose of everything he does is to get rejected a lot of times, that is not afraid to ask people for things. So, which is what I refer to as exposure therapy. If you know you don't have confidence, you have to start building confidence by getting comfortable with rejection. Because one of the problems people say, I cannot initiate meaningful conversation with people, is because they are afraid of getting rejected. I mean, most of you, the guys on this call, even the ladies, you might have a girl or a guy you're eyeing, you like this guy now, but you're scared of rejection. I mean, it's better for you to get rejected than for you to stay at a standstill, wishing that you had reached out to this person. So just make sure you learn how to build courage for you to get into sales, because without that, without courage and confidence, you cannot make it in sales. And there's nobody on earth, unless you are born into wealth, that can make it without these two traits. There are a couple of other traits, but this is usually the two. And the best way for you to do it is to start today. So the first step, like I said, initiate conversations with your prospects. This is where you get to introduce them to either their portfolio, Viveria, and any other product or services you are going to sell. The first step is to introduce or initiate meaningful conversations with your prospects. Now, let's talk about the interest stage. After initial awareness, which is them getting to know you, them getting to know that you have a solution to their problem, the challenge is to keep prospects engaged. One of the mistakes a lot of salespeople make in terms of visibility is that they start every conversation with the futures of their product or services. See, you have to always lead with value and make every interaction you come in contact, every interaction with your clients counts. By that I mean you always have to lead with value. Everybody is selfish, right? Everybody is selfish. Everybody is selfish in nature. You are here for yourself. The reason why you are here is to learn how to make sales so that you can make your life better. Yes, you are here at the honor of the portfolio, but you are here for your own selfish interests. So before you initiate conversations with your prospects, you always want to ask yourself, what is in them? What's in it for them? Why should they buy from you? It's very, very important. Why should they buy from you? So every time you initiate a conversation with your client, with your prospect, and even if you are trying to follow with them, always lead with value. Initiate those conversations, bringing in a different perspective to why the solutions your product or services offer is relevant to them and why they should take it. So always lead every conversation with value. The next thing you want to do to make your clients interested in you, to do business with you, is to tailor the outreach. You have to learn to customize messages to individual prospects' needs and pains. See, you cannot be selling wheelchair. You cannot sell wheelchair to me. There's nothing wrong with my legs. So first of all, you need to learn how to customize your message to your prospects. Look them up. Let's say you are selling that portfolio to a restaurant. You have to take time and study that restaurant. If possible, you can dine with them just to understand their customer service, to check where where their shortcomings are, so that you can better pitch your product to them, better pitch the portfolio to them. Sometimes you have to dine with restaurants to understand the loopholes on how you can better pitch the portfolio to them. So you have to learn how to customize your message to every individual prospect you meet to fit into their needs and pain points. So this is the interest stage. Customization here is very key. Two things you need to learn. Customization is very key. And then always lead every conversation with a new set of value. So let's say you are talking to a client today, you talk to a client about their portfolio. The next time you don't have to start again from the beginning. You might just pick a particular feature about their portfolio and begin that conversation from there, showing them a different angle why they need their portfolio as a product to make their food business or their restaurant very, very successful. That's one thing you need to note. Now let's look at the desire stage. One of the things visibility does for you is to help you build trust. Trust is also built through consistency. You have to be consistent, you have to be value driven in terms of your presence to build trust that makes prospects choose you over your competitors. Now, just like I said, it's not just about you following up with clients. You pick up your phone, say like, hey, Mr. Joseph, I wanted to call you based on the portfolio. I want to check in. Did you have time to think about what we discussed the last time? No, that's just you checking in. You have to be able to build trust through repeated conversations, which are value based, which will make sure you share something that will help push this your prospect down the buyer's journey. So don't do regular check-ins. Make sure you lead every conversation with value. Now, engage regularly with your clients to build familiarity through follow-ups. So if you want someone to buy something from you, if you want to close a sale, you have to consistently follow with them. Now, you have to know with what Mr. Alfred taught yesterday, the kind of buyers they hire. In terms of, are they dominant buyers? Do they need a lot of information before they buy from you? Are they impulsive buyers? This is what you need to sit down from the conversation you have with your clients. You are going to know as a salesperson, especially if you understand how sales psychology works. What kind of buyer is this? See, sales is just you profiling a client. Just about you profiling a client. You need to profile your client to understand the kind of person they are. Does this person pick their call in the morning? What's their tone when they pick their call in the morning? Are they better exposed to chat at night? How do they respond at night? What's their temperament in the afternoon? All this is the information you gather by initiating with your clients. So it's not just about you following up. Follow up in a manner that is convenient to your clients, not just yourself. So this is something you need to pay attention to. This is one way to build consistency and keep the desire of them buying from you. Now, this is a very, very popular quote from Jim Rohn. Most of you might know him. I'm sure Mr. David and Mr. Alfred know Jim Rohn, and most of you watching this as well. The fortune is in the follow-up. If you've created an awareness for your service or your product, and this person has developed interest through your consistent visibility to buy your product, you need to follow up with them, because that is how you close that sale. Because let's be honest, there are so many people selling what you are selling, right? So many people are selling what you are selling. You're not the only one. So for you to occupy their mind all the time, you need to show up. And follow up is how you do that. You need to follow up. The fortune is in the follow up. That's what Jim Rohn says. So now let's look at the final step. Okay, the power of follow up. Before we look at that, why follow up matters. 80% of the sales require at least 5 follow-up touch points. This is a research from HubSpot. Visibility accelerates trust across every interaction. Now we have some people say it's 5 touch points, some people say it's the rule of seven touch points. Most people will not buy at first contact. I want you to think about the last thing you bought, which was a very huge purchase. By a very huge purchase, I mean maybe from 200K up, whether it's your phone or your laptop. You did a lot of research before you buy that. Don't expect anybody to part away with hundreds of thousands of naira from 300K upwards just at first contact. Some people might buy at first contact. Those are only people who are fully aware of the problems they have and the solutions to that problems and the pain that problems is really causing them. And it's about how you frame it. But for some people, you need to follow with them. Second thing is trust building. You cannot follow up with a customer and ghost for 2 weeks. That does not make any sense. You have to stay visible, follow up to build that trust because once that trust is there, once you establish that trust and they find out that you are very reliable, you keep to your words. If you say you are visiting them to show them a demo of their folio, you show up and do that. You say you want to follow up with them, you call them. Those are very, very different avenues and very, very different scenarios where you can use to build trust with them. Once you establish that trust, they see you as a consistent person. And then in this game of sales, consistency is what helps you win. So this is why follow up is very powerful. Guys, follow up with your prospects. Now, the action stage, this is where a lot of you are going to make money because this is the reward. This is where the reward pays. This is the reward for your previous visibility efforts. The awareness stage, the interest stage, building the desire, and this is the point where you get to be rewarded as a salesperson. Buyers act with reps that they trust and who have been consistently present throughout this journey. So the first thing you need to do is to always get yourself prepared. Tell yourself before you go out to meet a client, even on first contact, this person wants to buy this product. Am I ready to sell it to them? Do I have my account details ready? Do I have demos ready to demo this product to them? What are the clear steps they can take after purchasing this product? You have to be very ready because once someone is in the spirit of buying, once they are in that spirit, you cannot lose that spirit. There's a particular spirit that comes with, I'm ready to buy. Once you do, they might get home and then, grandma swallow shovel for village, and that money is gone. So you have to be ready to make that sales. You have to prepare yourself with the clear steps. How do you get the account number? How do you demo this product for them? What is the clear onboarding process? Even if you're not the one to do that, but have a clear onboarding process because once you sell a product to a client, the first 24 to 48 hours matters a lot. You have to design that experience in such a way that they are happy they're happy to part away with that money with you. Someone buys a product, let's say 150K or 300K or even 600K. The first 24 to 48 hours is very, very important because that is how they get to experience the quality of your service as a sales rep and as a company. And once you can get them to experience a very cool and nice service in the first 48 hours of them parting away with their money with you, you've locked them down for a while. The best thing you can do is to continuously service that relationship. So you have to make it easy for them to buy. Reduce reduce barriers of buying, which means remove every friction from the buying process because trust converts. Trusted reps can help you. As a trusted reps, you are most likely to close more sales if you come prepared, if you make it easy for them to buy, and then if you remove every form of friction for them buying your product or services. So that's the action step. Now, one thing I want you to know is that visibility compounds. Most of you might understand that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Same thing with visibility. Visibility compounds like interest. Small effort today as a salesperson creating exponential results with time. It takes at least 90 days for you to say you are consistent on something. 90 days, right? If you are not consistent, this is something I want you to note, and this applies to even other aspects of your life because we tend to look at things in the positive side. Inconsistency also develop some sort of compound interest. That means if you are inconsistent, there's also a reward for you, a compound interest reward for you, which means you are invisible as a sales rep, which means at every quarter you always start from zero. You start rebuilding trust from scratch. You start looking for clients from scratch. You lost the momentum of making sales. So, in as much visibility, showing up consistently works for you as a sales rep, inconsistency also works against you. And this also applies to different aspects of your life. If you don't want to lose weight as a person, it's, it's compound interest. The fats in your body is building up over time and you see your result. But if you also decide that, okay, today I'll start working on my weight loss journey, it compounds over time. So the compounding effect of visibility is very, very powerful as a sales rep. You have to take visibility very, very serious. Now, let's wrap this up by these four core takeaways, right? Today's session has been brief, I know, but it's just an introductory session to what visibility actually is. And subsequently, we are going to be doing a lot of workshops on how you can create content, how to shoot videos to sell your services and your products, and then also how to use advertising, Meta and Instagram ads to sell as well. So let's take away these four things. Visibility is how you initiate sales. So you have to treat it as a revenue generating activity and not just a vanity exercise. Now, understand that you might be creating content on your WhatsApp status, creating content on your Facebook and Instagram. That works for you. But once you are intentional, you have to treat visibility as a revenue generating activity. It's not just something you do because you're on social media. It's not something you do because you have data to post online, or you can just go about your normal activity. You have to be intentional about it and treat it as a revenue generating activity, not just a vanity exercise. At every stage of your buyer's journey, visibility either accelerates or blocks progress. A good demonstration for this is, let's say you walk into a restaurant or a hotel to sell their folio, right? And then after 3 weeks, they don't hear from you. You're not visible to them. That works against you. You're not following up with your prospective clients. They don't hear from you because, let's be honest, most of these business owners have seen a lot of people like you. The only elimination exercise they use to get rid of unserious people is to test how consistent you are in getting them to adopt the solutions you are providing for them. Because they need people who are consistent, they need people who are visible and consistent, because that's how you build trust and let them part away with their money to buy your product or service. So at every stage of that buyer's journey, visibility is very, very important. It's going to accelerate your success as a sales rep or blocks your progress. So you have to be very conscious of that. The next thing you want to do is that the next thing you want to to take away from this training is that the best sales professionals are the your tech sales career through deliberate and consistent visibility. See, you need to understand that if someone is so successful in sales, it's because they are visible. One of the things is because they are visible enough. They have the right skill sets, but they are visible. And this is something I want you to note. Someone might have the right skill sets to make sales, but if they are not visible enough, they will not make sales. How you want to make the sales? You're not going to make the sales. So visibility helps you build success in your career. If you are visible enough to the right prospects, to the right customers, you are going to make sales. Finally, visibility compounds. If there's anything I'm going to tell you at the end of this call, at the end of this class, is that you should start now. Start now. Yesterday or today, we dropped some links in the group. I don't know how many of you have registered. But if by now you've not registered or signed up, I don't think you are ready to start, but you still have time. You are here, you are listening to me right now. Start now. The most visible sales rep in 12 ones are the ones building their presence today, are the ones taking action today. So as you are listening to me right now, at the end of this conversation, go and register, sign up to start selling, because we want this class to be, or we want this experience to be as practical as possible. And for those of you who are willing to start today, you are part of the sales rep who are going to see a lot of success in the next 12 months, and next 12 months, sorry. Now, I want to leave a very important quote that I came across few months ago. The highest performing reps are visible not just as sellers, but as educators and thought leaders. And this is what Matthew Dixon is trying to say here. He's the author of the book, The Challenger Self. You have to understand that for you to equip yourself as a salesperson, you have to study. You have to study and educate yourself, not just about the products you are selling or the service you are selling, but education about the psychology of your buyer. You need to understand who you are trying to sell to, what drives them, what motivates them, why should they buy from you, why do they need this product. And then there are thought leaders in the sense that they understand their industry, they are consistently improving themselves, and they are consistently making sure they stay up to date with the trends in their industry. So it's not just about you being visible as sellers, it's about you educating yourself and equipping yourself with the right skills needed for you to sell and succeed in sales, and then also understanding your target audience and also becoming a thought leader in your niche. This was from Matthew Dixon. So thank you very much. Now I'm going to take your questions and then your contributions as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Peter. That was so amazing. And it's quite funny that every time we talked about sell, we talked about sell in a way that as if it's disconnected from the people, it's disconnected from the product. It's just like a way of everybody sees sales like, okay, if I have to do sales, I have to make a lot of money. But the funny thing is that the very last slide summarize it all. You cannot be a billionaire if you are not a great seller. Like I think I posted something on just a few minutes ago on my WhatsApp status. I mentioned that the next, like with the way AI is going, right? A lot of us will be very jobless, not jobless because we lack skill, not jobless because we cannot build, but jobless because we cannot sell. Because the only thing AI will not do is to sell. AI will give you the copy for you to sell. AI will give you the products for you to sell, right? But AI will never leave being AI to being a person that sells. So if you're actually on this call and you actually saw the very last slide, which not this last slide of thank you, the very last slide, please can you go back to the last layer? If you if you've actually seen this particular slide, please, before you are a great seller, you have to be a great thought leader. Thought leader, what does it mean? Somebody that appears as the very best person to talk about a particular thing. You have to be a great thought leader. Who should you be? You should be an educator. So what it means to be an educator is that, okay, oh, I have to be teaching. Like, the reason why we keep doing this thing for free is to actually tell you that we are educating. I David is an educator. I have somebody from Google. Please, I don't want that person to watch this video and say that I exposed her. Like, I have somebody from Google that told me, my contact right here in US, and told me, "Whoa, you know David?" I said, "Yeah." I said, I was actually I followed No Code Africa when I was learning to build Bumble, when I was learning to use Bumble IO. David, I'm sorry I didn't tell you that. So now that's to tell you that being an educator position you as not just as a thought leader, but position you as an influence. So if you are here, we want you to be a great thought leader. We want you to be a great educator. And we want you to be the very fucking best sales person the world has ever seen. I'm sorry I keep using F word because maybe F word is one of the nicest language ever invented, but that's fine. So we'll be
Please,
taking a lot
please
of
don't use F words again. No, Google is listening.
thank you
Please,
guys.
I
Yes,
So
beg.
channel.
YouTube. This is YouTube channel. Please, I beg you.
so guys, so if you are here, right, so whatever you want to do with the idea, we talked about many things on the first day. We talked about different things on yesterday, which was handled by me, and we talked about a whole lot of things today. So you see how we make it, like we transition from the lower region to the higher region. So today it's for you to actually know that visibility is more than being visible. So we are ready to take on a lot of questions. So if you have any question, please can you drop on the comment section so that we could actually pin it over here. Thank you.
Okay. So Isaiah Okon says, I lost my momentum on visibility.
Go
How
and
can
find
I
it.
scale up my visibility to sustain my sales and brand? So here's the thing. The hardest thing I'm going to tell you is to start. Start again.
I,
Just
I
start
think
again.
I,
That's
w-
just
I,
the thing.
I would like to
Start.
comment.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to comment on that. So now the thing about this whole losing momentum is it affects every single person, including us. Okay, let me speak for myself, including me. So I far back 2023 and 2024, yeah, I was on fire on LinkedIn. Like I was on fire, literally on fire on LinkedIn. I was always writing, like I'll wake up with an idea and then I'll just write it to go viral on LinkedIn. I've had like my post do 11,000, reactions and like really massive views. But then after a while, I just, I got cold. I got cold. It's not something you have to kill yourself. All right, it's not something you have to kill yourself, but you just need to figure out ways to stay visible. All right, stay visible. Now this is it. I am very sure that you've already heard this from Peter, but then let me say this also. um I don't know. I'm a bit stingy about this information, but I think I should share it. Right? We don't have a lot of people that are here. It would have made sense for a lot of people to benefit from it. But this is it. The problem with visibility is the fact that you think you have to be the creative source. That's the problem. You think you're the one that has to sit down and write the content and write the article and put it out there for it to make sense. I was stuck in that phase for a while because I used to stay until I only posted when I had inspiration to write. Yeah, so whenever I have this, amazing inspiration to write, I'll just like post it and all of that. But then I discovered that I wasn't getting inspired frequently. All right. Yeah, I wasn't inspired frequently. So now the solution to that is AI. Like, trust me, it's AI. All you just need to do is give AI as much information about what you're doing, tell it to create a content calendar for you, tell it to even come up with the possible, articles that you can write out. And then most persons that you see on LinkedIn, if you like their writing pattern, you like the way they write it, copy their post, feed it to AI. You can use Claude, you can use ChatGPT. Tell Claude to like study the mode of the article, like how they write the stuff, and then from there it should use that particular standard, all right, as a formula, and then create lots of articles for you. And then from there, you can copy it and paste it, adjust a couple of things. You can get it to generate like articles for an entire week. And then the beautiful thing is that you can even use what is it called? You can use a buffer to schedule your posts, all right, across several social media platforms. You can use buffer and then schedule your post for the entire week. All you just now need to do is every single time you have an idea of the time that your post goes live, you make sure that you go back and then you'll be responding to the comments, which is one of the most important thing when it comes to getting your contents go viral and more visible. You have to be responding. Somebody coughs on your coughs on your post, you respond and tell the person thank you for coughing. So somebody sneezes, you tell the person thank you so much, this sneeze is really good. So you comment and all of that. And then of course you have to respond to everybody. That's the way the algorithm picks up and say, okay, this is a lot of engagement. Because once you respond to somebody's comments, the person will come back and check it again, right? And so the algorithm will be like, oh, this is a lot of people coming to check this post. It's a great post. Let me show it to more people. And then let me leak another one to you. Do you know that you can become like very popular on, let's say, LinkedIn, for instance, or even Facebook or Twitter, as the case may be? You can be identified as a thought leader, but then you're not the thought leader. AI is a thought leader. Anyways, for you to even be using AI, you're the thought leader. So, yeah. So, what do I mean here? You go to post. All right, let me give an idea of what most people do to stay viral. Now, there are lots of people that go to, let's say, Twitter. Then I think they use a third-party software, kind of, because a popular person can just make a post, but then Twitter will not inform you originally, like in Twitter X, will not inform you instantly that, okay, this person has posted something. I think it takes time before it finally comes up as a notification. By that time, the post has already gone viral, and then you're not even among the first 10, 50 people that have dropped a first comment, right? So now people use like a third-party application that allows them to know when most of these popular guys have dropped their post. Because if a popular person drops a post and then you come on board, all right, knowing too well that that post is going to go viral, you come on board as one of the first people to comment, right? You get a lot of reactions to your comment. And then if you write it well, most persons will see you as a thought leader, so they will follow you, right? They'll see you as a thought leader, so they'll follow you. So now you might be asking yourself, what do I write? Don't worry about what to write. Just copy whatever the person posted. All right, give it to ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT to give you like a really amazing response that will get people completely hooked, and that will get people to see you as a thought leader, and it should give it to you. And then once it gives it to you, you copy it and then you paste it. Well, this is like a cheat code anyways, but it works, right? So you paste it. If you do that repeatedly, you are going to end up becoming more like a thought leader, all right, for a very long time. And you get to increase your followership, increase your visibility, which Peter has, been talking about all through this particular session. So that's like it. So if you lose out your momentum, just outsource it to AI, because it is here to stay, basically. So just use it now that we can use it, because like I was saying it with Peter and Alfred. I won't say exactly what I talked about there, but then I mentioned that in 3 years time, all right, so 1 to 3 years,
In less than 3 years, actually.
in less than 3 years, okay,
Yeah.
I think we can share it with them here, right? So now in
Okay,
less than
share it.
3 years, Yeah. So in less than
All of
3
us
years,
are going to be broke. Let me
yes,
complete it.
yes, all of us will be very broke. Like really. Like now, this is it. If you don't get yourself rich, if you don't get yourself rich between 1 and 3 years, everyone is gonna be broke. Like for you to do anything, you're going to need about 100 people to come for you to even build a house in the next 1 to 3 years. For you to even build a house, right? You need to come together like 50 people and build a 3 bedroom flat. Like it's gonna become that crazy. You know why? Because we are going to end up becoming super redundant, right? You are a social media manager, AI has taken your job. You are a graphic designer, AI has taken your job. Let me be very frank here. So most of the let me not be so frank. I'm gonna just jinx everybody. enough, enough of the frankness. Yeah, before I shoot myself on the leg. But then this particular session is like supposed to be expository, right? This is
Yeah.
us giving you like an idea that you need to do everything possible to get rich within the next 1 to 3 years. Build anything you want to build. Because, for instance, right, people that learned how to build applications, websites, mobile applications, using traditional programming languages, they've lost their jobs. They've lost a job because let's say I wanted to build a very complicated ride hailing application, and then I call it developer that writes Python, React Native, whatever, C++, whatever you want to use. The guy is going to tell me, first of all, he needs a UI UX designer. There's going to be need for a product manager. There's going to be a need for a project manager. And then from there, we need a front end engineer. Then he's going to come on board as the back end engineer. Then there'll be what else is there?
Product
Yeah,
manager.
basically,
Product manager.
yeah,
Product
product
manager.
manager. So
Yep.
now, and then these guys are going to waste 6 months of time to 1 year to build a product that you don't even have enough time to take it to the customers to test it, right? And then you've wasted a lot of money. Meanwhile, with AI, all you just need to do is prompt it and it to develop an
MVP.
MVP for you in few hours. So imagine those developers, a lot of them have lost their jobs or they're about losing their jobs,
A
except you're
lot of
already high up in the rank. Except you're
But do
already
you
high up
know?
in
But
the
do you
rank.
know those that will keep their jobs?
Tell me, please, enlighten me.
The people we are training today, sales rep takes.
Yes, nobody's gonna take your jobs
Nobody's
because
going to take
AI
their
is
job.
never gonna be able to successfully sell. Because selling, like Alfred talked about yesterday, is about psychology, and then AI is not gonna give you so much of visibility. That is not gonna help you with so much of visibility because there are several restrictions. Yeah, it can't just go online on social media and then start spamming people. But you, as a person, you can, you can spam people. Yeah, but then
It
it
will
can
not be
send
able to
emails.
visit clients.
It
It will not
can
be able
visit
to
clients
initiate
physically.
conversation with clients.
Exactly. All right. And then it might not be able to even sympathize with the client. Like maybe it tries to sell something to the client, and the client just tells the AI, for instance, I just lost my job, the one that I've been using to fund my business. AI is gonna be like, and so what? so so might not be able to sympathize because it's a machine, right? But then, although I think it can sympathize, actually, Sha, if it was built to sympathize, it to provide sympathy. Yeah. So, but then the idea is this, right? Make sure that you find a way to get rich legitimately within the 1 to 3 years, because after that, and then when you get the money, all right, the idea is carry the money and put in agriculture. All right. Rear your own chicken, rear your own goats, rear your own whatever. Like carry the money and put in because after a while, money will fail. Money itself will fail. Like money will fail. You will have it, but you can't acquire something with it because um the reason why the world is a bit stable the way it looks like is that we all have our individual responsibilities. We have 9 to 5ers that do work. We have freelancers. We have after a while, 9 to 5ers will be off
They will
jobs
resign. Yep.
because there are no jobs. Freelancers will be off jobs. Who is going to pay us for? In fact, even the people running these companies, right, will also like people that are, some companies will lay off their staff because they are trying to use AI to do cheap labor, right? But then who is now going to pay for the software? Who is going to pay for the service that your technology is building when everybody's broke? Because collectively we are all in the same ecosystem. I could be your customer today and you could be my customer tomorrow. That's why it works. But after a while, let's say you just have a product and you can't be my customer, I can't be your customer, we're just going to perish. The only thing that is not going to perish is agriculture. We need to eat food. And then you will have money, but you'll not be able to buy chicken. Yeah, because chicken is gonna end up becoming so expensive because very few people are rearing chicken, right? And then there'll be like huge inflation and all of that, right? So I don't know so much about what is that thing called? Something. Is it game theory? I don't know so much
Yep.
about game theory, but
Game theory.
yeah, I don't know so much about game theory, but I understand that these things that I'm saying, there are huge possibilities that they will come to pass. So just use the time frame, use your sales skills, join us with with what we are selling. All right. So we're selling Folio, we're selling Rivaria. Join us, generate a lot of money for yourself, and then eventually get into agriculture. Like me personally, right? I am looking forward to having a poultry, not necessarily for the eggs, for the meat, but for the eggs. Like all these, I think they call it layers. I would like to have it. My brother has that. That's how my brother has, 2 kids and a big family, right? So he has layers. Yeah, he has layers. These layers lay eggs for his family, right? And I think every one of us should have it. Just feed the birds. The birds give you the eggs, and it's the safest way to have eggs actually. So have your layers, have your small space. You have the birds there, and then they lay eggs for you to feed your family. So that's like the stuff. Sorry for deviating a whole lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So back to the very question, like for consistency, I think one thing I want to say is that lazy people are not consistent. Lazy people do not have any issue to do with consistency because they never had anything to do, so they don't need consistency for anything. Whenever you feel you are lazy, it means you are trying to do something great. So the only thing that should come into your head is that if I don't do this thing, what will be the outcome? That means you are a lazy person. It's like procrastination. Only like, do you know the most people that procrastinate more are actually the high achievers. High achievers from different stuff I have actually read. The most people that procrastinate more are high achievers, super intelligent high achiever. They procrastinate a lot. I'm not saying it's a great thing, but I think that's just how it is. So you have to go back to yourself and tell yourself that what if I don't sell this thing? Will I have money tomorrow? You'll be broke. So the only thing for you, if you don't want to be broke, it's for you to actually wake up and do it. Dave have actually taught you an hack of how to actually post consistently. You will be surprised that it takes a whole lot of energy for you to even lift what you got from ChatGPT to LinkedIn or Facebook. Like you like you create a million kinds of content, but for you to lift, like, just to copy what you got from the machine and take it to your either your Google document for you to refine it, like, that one has even become worse. Like the energy it takes for you to copy something from your chat GPT to LinkedIn is like trekking from New York to San Francisco. It's a whole lot. But the truth is, you have to know exactly, why do I need to post? Who are you posting for? What are you posting for? And I wanted to use F4, but David has banned me. So you have to wake up and know that, yeah. So that's it. Just do it. Just do it. I won't use it. Just do it.
please
David,
don't use it.
So,
Don't use
I
it.
won't use
Thank,
it.
thank
I
you
won't
so
use
much.
it.
Thank.
just to wrap up before we
Yeah,
move to the next question.
yeah.
Buffer, the app
See,
used. Sorry, Peter. The app used for Buffer. It's either you can actually use Buffer or you can actually use Hootsuite. You can use Hootsuite. If you want directly to schedule to LinkedIn, actually, Bell, one beautiful thing, even this guy is using, Peter is using, is hookmaverick.xyz. You can actually schedule everything to LinkedIn, and you'll be so great.
oh, perfect. So there are a lot of tools with I mean, there are a lot of tools. If you want to look at this particular one, check the notes on the screen. Bookmaverick.xyz. That's a good tool. So another thing I just want to add to you. What's your name? That should be Isaiah, right? See, I want you to understand that a lot of Nigerians are very mediocre for what they do. So I want you to know that you have a lot of opportunity for you to stand out in whatever field you decide to play on. Because an average Nigerian is very mediocre at what they do. See this thing I'm telling you now. Give me, come and pay your tithes. An average Nigerian is very mediocre at what they do. So if you've decided that you want to play as a business person, you want to do anything as a business person, right? Just commit to it and do the work. There's no shortcut for that part. Commit to it and do the work, and you're going to get results. That's it. You're going to get results. So let's look at.
Okay,
I
so
think.
I think I can add. Okay, I think I can
Okay.
add just something little, something very little. I think I talked about it earlier. I don't know whether it was the very first class or this today. So one of the things I could just add, like real quickly here, is when you lose momentum, please just copy people. Please, it's better for you to copy people. Either you use AI or you copy people. All right, and of course you have to copy people creatively. Yeah, so you can find this book, How to Steal Like an Artist, I think.
Still like an artist, yes, by
Yeah.
Cleon.
So yeah, instead of you losing your momentum, right? Please copy people. Like another way you can do it is if you are not posting on LinkedIn, go ahead and just be commenting on other people's posts, right? And then you can be sharing their posts and then adding yours, adding something. It's better than not doing anything at all.
Anything at all.
When I started this channel, this the No Code Africa YouTube channel, when I started it, I was always copying other no code developers here, like a whole lot. Yeah, most of the people that I actually copied on this on YouTube, right? I actually did surpass their views over time. Yeah. So I actually surpassed their views over time, but I basically copied. And then the thing is this, you have to be ready to look stupid. Yeah, you have to be ready to look stupid, because I remember there were lots of times where because where I was learning how to build apps with Adalu, right? And then I think it was Bubble, right? When I started learning how to use that, when I learned it, I didn't get everything at once. So when I come to teach it, because the idea for teaching was for me to solidify my own knowledge and of course establish myself as an authority. So when I come to teach it, I I had comments, like you can go and check my old videos here on this channel. You see some very awful comments. I didn't delete it because it's still there. It's cool, cute comments. So somebody would tell me to go and learn first. Be like, guys, stop teaching. All right, stop teaching. Go and learn this thing first before you come and teach people, because you don't know it. And it was true. I didn't know it, but I wanted to be able to establish myself as an authority, so I had to keep teaching. All right, I was fine looking stupid by coming to teach because there was this particular instance, right? When using Flutter Flow to build a mobile application. Now, when you want to create your database, all right, you need to just create it. You can go ahead and just create it on Firebase, all right, and not create it on. You can create your schema on Flutter Flow, right? Just create your schema on Flutter Flow and then leave it there. What I did was, because the person I learned it from was creating the schema on Flutter Flow and still creating the schema on Firebase, which was a very terrible technology, because if you're using wrong spellings, you have bugs and you will not know what is happening. So that was what the person was telling me, was like, why would you be creating on Flutter Flow and still go back to go and create the same database schema on Firebase? But well, I learned it like that. So just be ready to look stupid and all of that. So
Okay, please
Peter,
keep
there's
your
another
question
question here.
coming. Yeah, please keep your question coming. Thank you.
How consistent can a salesperson be to know that you are visible enough?
There's no number.
See, there is no number, there is no, like I told you, is an intentional game. It's like compound interest. The more you show up, the more the results compounds over time. So I want you to take it as a lifestyle. So one of the things I do, or I'm going to share something with you. Let's say you want to lose weight. You are better off taking exercise as a lifestyle than for you to be conscious of climbing on, scales, checking your weight every 2 weeks, every week. You're going on the scale, right? Trying to see if you've reduced. No, you get frustrated. But if you say, okay, I'm going to lose weight, I'll take my weight loss journey, and exercise as a lifestyle instead of just trying to get to a destination. You are going to lose a lot of weight with time. So there is no number, there's no number. There's just consistency. Be intentional and be consistent, and you get the results you get as a salesperson. So that's it. There's no particular number.
Okay. Thank you very much, Peter, for that response. So we
What
have
do
another one
you
here.
do in situations where you follow up with a customer, but they keep placing you in a fixed position? I'm assuming by fixed position you said you mean maybe they don't want to buy. So Mr. Alfred taught something yesterday, if you're here, a sim book. You have to understand the urgency the urgency at which they need your product or service. You can do everything right as a salesperson. If you're not presenting the solution to the problem they have as an urgent one, they're not going to buy from you. They will just keep postponing and no, because the way you're presenting it is either they don't see it as an urgent solution, or the problem they have is not painful enough. So in certain scenarios, you might not be the problem, but also in certain scenarios, it can be the problem. Your presentation might be off as a salesperson. You might not be presenting your solution properly in the lens that they need to see it as an urgent need or an urgent solution to their problem. So if you are following up with someone and they are ghosting you, they are not ready to buy. Another thing you need to do is to generate a lot of leads that you don't need to be fixated on one client. Once you have a certain number of prospects you are following up with, just one disappointment or someone just playing with you who is not ready to buy from you will not get you frustrated. But if your daily bread is in the hands of only one person, yeah, you go there frustrated. So generate enough leads and then make sure that you are presenting the solutions properly in the lens of urgency, not just selling a product.
Yeah, thank you so much, Peter. So another thing I want to add is that let me use real life situations so that each and every one person will understand this. If you are in such position, I want you to think about the time you love someone so deeply, but they still decide to leave. Selling to somebody that does not want to buy, it's like being ghosted by somebody you loved. You did everything right. You bought her chocolate, especially for women. You bought her chocolate. You bought her dresses. You bought her watch. You kept telling her, I love you every day, but still they decide to leave. Same thing with man. You love the guy so right. You cooked for him. You did everything he really wanted. Like you are the perfect partner anybody on earth is looking for, but they still decide to leave. They are not leaving because they want to leave. They are leaving either one because they have a better option, and you are not the better option. The better option could actually be very terrible, right? It could be somebody that does not even match your standard, but they still decide to go with that person. It could be the better option has more money to spend than you. So in this case, let's say the better option has more features, has more protein than what you actually promised to give them. So you are not the problem, except your selling script was terrible and you were not able to profile that person. Another issue could be we talked about different the D, the C, the different thing, the I yesterday. It could be you were not able to actually categorize this person using this framework. So sometimes, right, you have to keep going knowing fully well that some persons belong to the steady category. They want to take time to actually get what they want. Some persons actually belongs to the C category. They are very conscious. They don't want to make a mistake in whatever they are buying from you. So you have to know where this person belong to. You have to also ensure that your visibility was actually standard, so that whenever they Google your name or they Google your product or they actually Google anything that relates to you, you keep showing on Google error. You could check Alfred Lazarus, you could check Asa, you could check Dave Orok, you could check Peter on Google, see whatever that comes up from this person. Then you utilize, okay, this is what I was doing wrong. So selling could actually, it's a very lengthy process, but you have to shorten it by doing everything right from your own part. If you are hired as a okay, Peter, this is for you.
If you are hired as a salesperson for a company and your job is to bring in clients, what strategy can be used to get customers aside cold calling and emailing? If you're asking this question with the way you framed it, I'm going to assume that the option of getting to meet these clients one on one is eliminated. You don't have the opportunity to meet your prospects one on one. Another best thing you can do is what I call, there is a framework I use in when I'm setting adverts for my clients called the visibility protocol. Now, the visibility protocol is used setting up adverts to attract the kind of clients and customers you want, which subsequently I'm going to teach it to the people in the community, but it's for those who have attended this class and mark their attendance, because we are trying to screen out people to get the serious ones. So if you're not attending, you're not signing your attendance and watching this video, please make sure you do so. So you can use advertising. Advertising in the sense that I'm in Lagos, right? In my small room, I can reach anybody on earth that wants my product. That's the power of advertising. But I also want you to understand that when it comes to B2B, right? Selling to a business from a business is totally different. The best thing you can do is visibility protocol. Get people to reach out to you. But when they reach out to you, you also need to understand that that is the first touch point. I see that you want to sell me, let's say, software that can help with inventory, portfolio for an instance. That's like a B2B, a business selling to a business, right? You don't have access to go call people or email people, which I'm going to say another thing to this. You set up an advert, talk about the problems, your products or the solutions to their problems, and then invite them to reach out to you. And if you run an advert for 30 days, if you need just maybe 5 sales to close your monthly sales goal, it's going to be possible. On the flip side, you're asking me these questions, Shalom, maybe probably because you're afraid of rejection. You cannot man up to call people on phone. You say, okay, hey, my name is Shalom. I'm calling you from from Diafolio. I see you run a restaurant, and I have something that can help you cut in curb in inventory theft and help you scale your hospitality business. You're afraid of rejection. You're afraid that people will not pick your call, or you're afraid you will not get to the right channel. That fear is valid. The fear of rejection is valid. So you cannot totally stay away from cold calling or cold emailing, right? You have to factor in, because if I'm going to give you a simple example. I can see Onyinye's name on the comment section. If I put you beside Onyinye, side by side with Onyinye, and she's cold calling, she's cold emailing people, she's also setting up adverts, she's creating content. See, and you're only doing adverts. Ah, Onyinye will outwork you. She's going to make more sales. So as a salesperson, you want to make sure that you explore all the options. But over time, you are going to find out what works best for you. Is it cold calling? Is it emailing people? Is it setting a call, booking a meeting with this client, to demo the product? And then emailing is not just the only way. We have other channels. But as you start, you have to make sure you try and explore all channels to pick out what works for you. And then please don't shy away from calling or calling many people. The worst that can happen is that they'll pick your call, either end your call, or they'll read your message and not reply you. You don't have anything to lose, Shalom. You don't. So I hope I've answered your question. Mr. Alfred, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think uh, so. There are different tools to actually bring client to organization, but the number one tool is you. That was why you were hired. There are different tools we have. We have different tools. We have Tapilo, we have LinkedIn, we have Facebook, we have so lots of many tools. But the number one tool you have is you. So the first thing when you are hired for a role, the first thing you see, a lot of us, we apply for roles, we do a different things, but we keep applying for roles. Sometimes when we get ghosted, or when maybe when we are hired for those roles, we are not performing at the maximum. When you are hired, you are expected to perform at the maximum. I am speaking as somebody that hires people and somebody that also applies for a job. There are weeks I also apply for jobs and I still hire people. That's to show you that I am both somebody that needs money and somebody that still send out money. But a good numbers of time, we hire people that are not fully aware of the role. So the first thing you do when you are hired for organization to bring people that will bring money so that they can pay you better is for you to become better. It's for you to become very better at who you are. It's for you to learn. It's for you to know what can I do. Like life is so easier now that we have ChatGPT. Like I don't know how my life would have been without this my new friend. Like it's so great that you have to explore. You have to learn how can you do better aside from cold calling. You have to find them. And where are you going to find them apart from email? Where are you go? It could be I think David mentioned something about staying on LinkedIn comment section. There's a kind of comments, there's a kind of thought-provoking comment you make on somebody's wall. Somebody comes to your inbox to say, "Hi, I want to be your friend." For at least whenever I make comments on LinkedIn, at least I receive at least 5 to 7 LinkedIn connection requests. So you have to again know that okay, this is how you are going. Okay, you are telling yourself that you are not going to do cold calling. You are telling yourself you are not going to do emailing. So what other channels is there? I suggest the LinkedIn comment my brother mentioned earlier. So do it, fire it up, go straight, go to Facebook. Whenever people make thought provoking, remove people that are not necessary in your group in your life. I'm removing 3,000 people, including you, self. That if you don't have up to 10,000, if you don't have up to 10 million naira in your account, because there's some kind of network you have, it stalls you. So remove people that are not bringing the value you want in your wall and follow people. Like I am removing people so that I can add people. I am not scared to send a friend request to somebody. Like some people, when they get to a particular stage, they don't longer see. When I remove people, like when I try to add somebody and they say, okay, your 5,000 connections have reached, I'll remove I'll just leave sending that friend request. I'll go back to my friend list and remove at least 20 at a blow. And I find people that does at large, and like I am raising the bar now. The people I remove at the moment are that people that don't have up to 500 to 1 million. So I'll remove you. And I know if I see that you don't have up to 5 again, I'll remove you. Now that I'm looking for people with 10, and at least I'm going to empty my my friend list. So it's about you. build it, know where you find them, and know how to get them. Go to event. Event is so amazing. Go to event. You do not need to wait for your employer to sponsor you to event. I am going to drive to almost 2 hours just for me to go to event because I'm looking for a co-founder for a product I'm building. I have already built my MVP, but I'm driving to Ithaca now in a few minutes now. If it's Discord that's keeping me, that I have to go and find a co-founder. So go to events, find people. If I go there and I don't see anybody I can do this thing with, I'm going to I'm going to a different thing. I'm going to event in New York City the other day because I have to find the people, the person I am looking for, and it's not going to be in my bedroom. So go out, find them, and make sure you actually befriend them when you find them, and make sure you don't fumble when you actually have them again in your life. So that's it. A client is like a relationship with your wife. You have to treat them, give them chocolate until they forget that was chocolate and you take what you want. Please do not use this advice for any unethical purposes. Thank you.
Hi. Okay, so just to buttress on that point, if you're all shalom, if you're listening to us, which I hope you are, there's something called exposure therapy. Step up from your comfort zone from time to time. Be uncomfortable, expose yourself to certain scenarios. Like me, I'm an introvert, but I need to go out. Like I have a very big friend that has been telling me since I got to Lagos. Say, see, Peter, the only way to succeed in Lagos is to go outside and meet people, and which is very true. You can meet your clients outside, depending on the kind of place you hang out, depending on the kind of environment you find yourself. But just go out and meet people. It's very important that you go out, leave your comfort zone, go out and meet people. Thank you, Shalom. So please help me highlight. There is a question by Asaha Brown.
What is it?
Just no, no, no. Go up again. So how do I get to my target audience online? Even without ads, because even people advertising are having low visibility on Meta too, because our followers and friends on social media aren't the target audience for ourselves. So how do we stay visible to target buyers? So here's the thing. I'm just going to give you, believe we've said this in the course of our conversation. Now, people are getting results from ads. That's one thing. That's the first thing I want you to know. But ads does not work for every kind of product or service. There are some products that client relationship with work closes they sell. But there's a role for advertising, which is to initiate conversations. People who are running ads, there are people running ads and they're getting results. And there are also people still running ads and are not getting results. So what are these people doing properly? Figure that out. They know what you don't know. This is not a conversation about ads, but if we ever want to do a workshop on ads, I'm going to show you how to target your customer. There are so many ways to do that. But I'm just going to quickly let you know this. The best way, in fact, since 2023, I've not been using any audience targeting. You know all those audience targeting on my adverts. I've just been keeping it very open. What I use to target my audience and my prospective customers is my creatives, my videos, my images, by speaking to them the language they understand and then making my offer in my videos. Mostly I use videos for my marketing. So one of the things you also need to do is there is two words I want you to pay attention to. There is inbound and there is outbound. The people in your community and your friends on your WhatsApp and all those places, they are not your target audience. Your family members are not your target audience. So if you don't have money to run campaigns and conversation for people to come to you to generate leads, which is inbound, they are coming in, you yourself, you go out and look for your customers. How do you do this? Cold emailing people, cold messaging people, maybe sending people messages on their Instagram, pitching to them, meeting clients on events, even on social places. If I'm selling bags and I see someone with a very nice bag, I'm going to compliment their bag and then sell to them. Tell them, see, I have a store. I have an online shop where I sell bags like this. I will send you my catalog for you to look at something you like. Maybe if you want to buy in the future, in the nearest future or not, you can buy. So you have to actively go out of your way to look for your customers. So it's either you go out, which is outbound, go and look for your customers, or you set up certain advertising campaigns through your content online, or your comments, like Mr. Alfred has shared, your comments, or adverts for them to come to you. So it's either you go and fish or you set traps for the fishes to catch the fishes. So I hope I've been able to answer your question. Hmm. Okay, let's see if we have any question. Hmm. Blessing Atakpa said, my take home tonight is treat your clients as your wife. Your client and your customers are your wives. So you have to treat them well. I don't want to say some things, but they are your wives, so you have to treat them well. Oh, thank you as well for asking that question. You have to treat them well. They're your wives. I think it was David Ogilvy that said your. Let me look for that quote and see if I can present it. David Ogilvy quote on wife. Quotes. So it says the consumer isn't a moron. Your customer is not a moron. She's your wife. That's just the thing. Your customer is not a moron. Your customers can be annoying. They can be stressful, right? They can be very, very, you can even hate your customers, your clients. But as far as this person is paying you money, they are your wife. So you have to treat them well. Whatever you want to deduct from that. So keep your questions coming, even if it's not related to, I mean, if you're part of this conversation, you heard a lot of things Mr. David shared about AI and all those stuff. If you still have questions with regards to that, because in the next 10 to 15 minutes we'll be wrapping up. We don't want to keep this more than 2 hours so that if any of us is watching the replay, they can enjoy the replay without having to sit more than 2 hours. So if you have any other questions on anything, don't ask me how you can get a husband or wife. Or any other thing besides that, you can ask us. We are still here. Yes, exposure therapy is very, very important. It's very, very essential. Please just everybody, you go and look at exposure therapy. If you're someone who is shy, someone who hates rejection, look up a page on Facebook called Daily Rejection. Just watch his videos. He walks up to people and tell you, "Can I hug you?" Now it does not apply to Nigeria. Someone person will slap you. But what he does is that he wants to see. Do you know what it means for people to get rejected? Do you know a guy every man should be afraid of? A guy that can walk up to any girl. He'll say, "Hi to your girlfriend." Those are the guys that no matter how beautiful you are, no matter who you are as a lady, they walk up to you. They are not scared of rejection. That kind of man is very, very dangerous. So as a salesperson, in fact, as anybody who wants to succeed, You shouldn't be afraid of certain things that will lead to your success. Talking to people, doing the things you're supposed to do. Don't give into shame and fear. What will people say? What people talk about? What will people say about this? What? Nah, nobody for nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody is going to. You have your life ahead of you. So who cares? As far as the way you're making money is not illegal, you shouldn't care about those people's judgments, right? So can you talk about daily rejections? So the thing with daily rejection is this. We can say a lot of things, but what you can do right now, I'm going to take a walk this evening inside my estate. And one of the things I'm going to do is if I see any pretty girl, I'm just going to stop them and talk about how their day went. If I see up to 5 people, I'm definitely going to get rejected by 2 or 3. I probably maybe learn one person that I want to talk with me. That's the concept of daily rejections. You have to build your confidence to a point that, okay, let me give you an example. There was a quarter, sometime in 2022, I created a label on a folder on my Gmail and call it 1000 rejections. I called that folder 1000 rejections. The goal of that folder was to fill that folder with 1000 rejection emails. Most of you cannot even apply for jobs because you already feel that you've disqualified yourself. So you have to figure out how to accept rejection and not attach it to yourself. So before I answer this question, I just want to do a follow-up to what you post. Each time I lose a client, I feel more heartbroken than I've ever felt about a love affair. How do I deal with it? See, you have to treat a customer like a cycle. And you have to learn how to fill up your pipeline so that once a customer leaves your business, you don't really feel it. Now, there are some customers that will leave your business depending on the kind of business you run, that you might feel it. If you are running a marketing agency like myself, that there is a client that I lost last month, and we've been working together for the past three years. I felt it because the relationship was good. I was learning a lot from the person, and the cash flow was constant. So when you lose a customer like that, you might be heartbroken, right? But again, there are two things you need to do. Don't attach the loss to yourself. What you should focus on is your revenue. What's that loss doing to your revenue? And how can I be consistently replacing clients so that I don't feel that hole in my pocket when someone leaves the business? So, meaning that you have to learn how to generate leads and make more sales, not just attaching your hope to just one customer. So, this question: how long do you follow up a client knowing that they are not buying? For me, the cycle is always 90 days. Now, these 90 days, not that I follow up every day, but their buyer's journey, your buyer's journey differs. Your own might be different from my own. But there are certain products that will need a lot of follow-up because the buying cycle is long. I'm going to give you an instance. If I have a client who is selling a property in Lagos, in Abuja, that costs, the lowest is about 100 million, right? The buying cycle for such properties might take up to 6 months. So you cannot just be tired because you want to follow up. So the better response to your answer is assess your clients, because sometimes you don't need to follow up with people who don't want to buy from you, who don't need that product. Mr. Alfred has talked about this. Mr. Alfred has talked about this. Assess your buyer, because sometimes you're trying to follow with people who are not ready to buy from you. So understand how ready your client is and then follow with them. For me personally, the cycle is always 30 to 90 days, depending on what you are selling. If you follow up with people consistently for 90 days, follow with someone consistently for 90 days and they don't buy from you, just let them go. For me, what has worked for me, for the clients I advertise for online, 80 to 90 days. Like last month, I had someone that reached out to me in November last year, bought a product, bought my service. That's within the period of more than 90 days. But one thing I did not do, I did not go to his DM and follow up with him. He was consistently seeing my content online and he reached out when he was ready to buy. So there are people like that. They'll probably reach out when they're ready to buy. But once you've consistently followed up with a client for 90 days, again, the flip side to this is generate more leads for you to not depend on one client to have to buy from you.
Peter, please, I want to laugh, right? Shalom, I'm so sorry what what you had to go through. I'm so sorry. You know, I really wish I could actually put on my professional face and not laugh at you, but I'm definitely not laughing at you, right? I'm I'm laughing at the experience. So the truth is, I don't know why you resign, whether you resign to save your mental health, because we actually do not talk about it. But believe me, you are not the only person. I think when I went into SEO, I've done my niche, my specialization of marketing was my specialization of digital marketing was actually, I was mainly focused on social media. I run ads. I do content creation, like content writing. I do email. I never had the zeal to go into SEO. So I think I got inspired later so I went into SEO. So when I went into SEO, the very first job I took on SEO, I didn't perform well. I knew. The funny thing is that when you make mistake as somebody that wants to be a professional in a job, you will know. That's one thing. If you are willing to learn and if you are willing to grow in any career path you ever take, when you get a job and you do that job and that job does not meet the standard expected of a professional which you've actually called yourself to be, you will definitely know. So I knew. But for the fact that this guy called out my BS, right, directly to me and said that, okay, I actually did a few part of it, but I didn't do 100%. So I had to tell myself, man, maybe this SEO. So sometimes people see me as this person that is so 100. I am not so 100. So like things like this takes me to be very 100 at everything. So if you ever known me and you think that I am so 100, it's not because I just wake up and be 100. It's because of challenge. So I had to go back to my drawing board. I bought a lot of books on SEO. I read a lot of books. I did a lot of investment. I did a lot of classes on Udemy. I did a lot of stuff on Coursera. Like I immersed myself into learning SEO. I remember buying a tool. Like I was in Nigeria at the time, right? So I remember buying a tool, a Screaming Frog. Yeah, while learning Screaming Frog, I bought Screaming Frog for a 1 year subscription, which was it over how much? It was 80 something thousand naira at the time. Imagine somebody at that time buying a tool of 80 something thousand naira just for me to learn alone. I didn't give it out to anybody. And at that time, I started training on SEO and I became so good at it. So sometimes these things, if it does not happen, you'll never be great. So you were not called a scammer. I'm sorry that the person called you a scammer. The person only pushed you to go and be a better person, and which I am damn proud that you are. Because if you were not, you will not be able to talk about it today. So I'm so proud of you, and you are not a scammer. Thank you.
Okay, so I want you to quickly go up a bit. 3 messages before Shalom's comments. There's a
Okay.
question.
Okay. Is an effect of loss if a client turns.
Yeah, yeah. So, Elu Agape. If a client turns me down, I always feel that I'm not smart enough. How do I get over it? I will allow Mr. Alfred to start on this. I
Okay,
think it's
so I think you don't get over it. That's one. If a client turns me down, I always feel like you don't get over it. You don't. You don't get over it. When you feel you are not smart enough or you are not good enough to get a job, just like what I just explained a few minutes ago and what Shalom Peter actually talked about, you don't get over it. Because if you get over it, you will not get clients. So you have to go back to say, you have to you have to track the processes which you used in pitching to the clients. So if you track that process and you actually know that you were actually perfect at it, what else do? You have to again like do opposite there's this thing we call in consulting oppo research. Do oppo research. What kind of a person is this person is? What do they value? Like learn them, learn them, and you now learn yourself what was actually expected from you. What did this person expect from you to give? Were you able to give? Were you able to communicate this thing? Were you able to meet their demand on the very first side, on the very first call, on the very first meeting? If you do this particular step, you will be able to know if it was your fault or if the person was not ready or if the person was ready but the money. Some people can actually be ready to buy but they don't have money to buy. It's a different thing to be in need and it's a different thing to be in want. I'm not going to explain that. It's a simple economics. So I'm sorry I said it's a simple economics because it's actually a very hard economics. So you have to circle back to, so okay, this is but first detach yourself from any sales process. It's like applying for a job. I have had many had many heartbroken moments applying to a job than a girl turning me down. A lot of it. I have had many heartbroken moments from applying to a particular company and being attached to that company and still got rejected than me, a woman telling me, Alfred, I don't need you, which it has actually never happened. But I'm not bragging. I have had a lot of breakups though. So you have to remove yourself from the sales circle. You are not the process. You are the one developing the process so that when these things happen, you don't get heartbroken. I think that will be from me.
okay. I think there's also the angle of looking at yourself, right? We take a lot of failure so personal. There are failures that are personal anyway. You get some kind of thing where you go fail and you will look yourself for mirror saying, I mean fuck up, right? But sometimes you don't want to get attached to people or to certain things. At a certain point in time, you are going to numb certain emotions to be a good salesperson. First of all, you need to understand the psychology. So when we talk about psychology, sales psychology, we are not just talking about understanding our clients' psychology to sell to them. We also need to reflect on the psychology that builds a good salesperson. And one of the things is not attaching yourself to the results you get from your sales processes. You don't attach yourself. Just at the end of the month, do some analogy, do some reflection. What did I do wrong this month? Like this April, we're all going to take a lot of reflections. This is where I fucked up. This is where I would have done better. Next month, this is what I'm going to do. This month, this one. So just don't attach a lot of rejections to yourself. let go of the emotions, look at the problems head to head, and then if you do the analogy, the reflection, and you see that it's not really your fault, don't beat yourself over it. If a client turns you down, it's either maybe they don't want the product, or maybe you did not present it properly, and then maybe they did not like your face. You don't have anything to do with. There's nothing about for the rejection. You don't have to hold into yourself. You can fix your presentation. They don't want the product, sell to another person. There's someone out there that will buy from you. Just have to be consistent enough, be visible to the right people, and then they'll reach out to you and you get the sales. So
So,
we are
guys, yep,
we want to wrap up. I think
we
that
are
will be
running.
all. So if you are yet to take the attendance, you are here to take the attendance. So I'm going to give you the link again. Go
Making money
to
is it's a very tough thing, guys. Making money, it's a very tough thing. So don't think that making money is easy. It has never been easy. The simplest way to make money, it's not to make money if you think it's easy. So don't just try to make money if you think it's easy. But making money is very easy. It is tough, it is dangerous, and it demands a lot from you. So please see it as a tough process while trying it.
yes. So that's going to be a wrap for today. I mean, if you had a wonderful time, please let us know in the comment section. Let us know you had a wonderful time. And tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow is another day. Mr. David is going to talk about probably on hypnosis and then give you some assignment. Okay, he's actually here. So while you're at that, I want you to highlight, Mr. Alfred, let me highlight my comments, the code.
Okay.
Just make sure you take your attendance because what we are trying to do with the attendance is to filter out the sheep from the goats. We want to build a community of people who are actually committed because you're not paying for money, you're not paying money to be part of this community, but you're paying with something very important, which is your attention and your time. So if you show up on calls, attend and mark attendance. You're paying us with the least form, with the highest form of currency, which is attention. Attention right now is the highest and most valuable form of attention or currency in this world. So if you can give someone your attention and time, it's far, far greater than money. And you have done that. So you want to sign the attendance. Because at the end of this sales masterclass, the people who have attended and signed the attendance are the people who actually be working consistently with. And this is just the beginning. So make sure you sign your attendance, please. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Alfred. Thank you so much, Mr. Peter. I had to like, get off the call and call my brother. Today is his birthday. So yeah, we just finished speaking. Yeah. So although I was listening to my attention was divided. I was listening and then I was still speaking with my brother. Yeah. So what did I even want to say? Okay, yeah, you talked about what I'll be teaching tomorrow. Hypnosis and persuasion. Okay, yes. So we'll find very ethical ways. Yeah, we'll find very ethical ways to talk about hypnosis in marketing. Sorry, in sales. Yeah, we'll find very ethical. I'll try to see how best to talk about it. But then the most important thing for today and tomorrow and Friday. Friday is the closing ceremony, so we're gonna have like a really good time. On Friday, you'll get to be able to like download your certificate of attendance. Once you have at least 70-80% attendance across the number of days that we are holding the masterclass. Yeah, so once you have that, you'll be able to download your attendance. And then for those who are interested in making some money during this particular period, right? So I had already shared the task on WhatsApp or the WhatsApp group, which is it has to do with you becoming a partner with Dinefolio and helping us get more vendors on the platform, including Rivaria as well. So you can use the whole of tomorrow to get like your very first customer. You can try to call me, preferably just text me. I'm one of the admins on the WhatsApp group, so you can just like text me. I think I'll still share the sales deck on the group, so that's for Dinefolio, and then that can help answer some questions, yeah, for those who are interested in becoming like good marketers for Dinefolio, because we are hiring on Friday, right? So it's not just certificates that we are giving you on Friday. We're gonna hire you on Friday. Yeah. So like we said on the flyer, 10% to get the job. So, but for you to qualify to get the job, we want to see what you can do within 24 hours, basically. So you have roughly almost 48 hours. So we started today, and then it will close around the time before the closing ceremony on Friday. Yeah, so try and see how you can do your very best to participate in this, because we're not just doing training for you guys for free, for nothing, right? We're trying to see how we can have a community of salespeople, right? People that know how to talk, people that know how to sell, people that are very confident when it comes to talking about the products that they are demoing before a customer. We want to get want to like create salesmen and saleswomen out of this particular community. And then this is one of the jobs that AI is not going to take from you. And you're lucky to be learning this from us without paying a dime. I know that many people don't always appreciate free master classes, but I know that person is not you. Yeah, because you appreciate what we are doing right now. So we'll be looking forward to having you in the class tomorrow. Yeah, it will just be very short. It will be shorter than these actually. We won't spend up to 2 hours. We'll spend like roughly an hour by tomorrow talking about it. And then I will also present a demo of the two platforms so that you can understand what to pitch and understand how the platform works too. Yeah, so I think that will be it from me. If you've not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please just hit on the subscribe button and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Like the video as well, and then invite more people to join the community, because even after we are done with the masterclass, the community is an ongoing community. So please invite people to join so that we can all like profit and grow together. Thank you very much, Mr. Alfred, for being here again. Thank you so much, Peter, for your what you taught us today about visibility and answering all the amazing questions. Thank you so much to every single person that attended the masterclass. If you know that you have anything to say that has to do with what we could do to make this better, so we're gonna share like later on we'll share a link to feedbacks. That'll be at the end of the masterclass. We'll share it on WhatsApp so you can give us like a feedback on what we could do better when we are hosting subsequent masterclasses and of course workshops. Because like Peter mentioned, we will be doing at least one workshop every, I think we could call it laboratory. I prefer to call it lab. So we're doing one laboratory every single week. Yeah, and then that way we can continuously grow and then build this thing together. All right, so that'll be all for me. Sharks are born swimming. So Alfred, do you have something to say?
Okay, guys. So I want to say thank you so much for joining, because I know one thing, it's one thing to register for something, it's a different thing to show up. So we sincerely appreciate that you showed up. And like Dave mentioned, apart from the slides and the everything which you guys will actually get from this, somebody needs to get hired, which is, it could be you, and it might be me. David might decide to hire me. So please show up. Tomorrow is going to be amazing, quite a different stretch of what everything which you've had so far. Please show up and keep inviting your friends. the community we are building, it's not just going to end on the 2 minute how to sell and how to run, how to do everything. We want you to be part of a different journey, which you are going to see how it works. So the only way you can actually achieve that, and the only way you can actually benefit from what we are doing, it's if you are actually active. We are actually going to open the comment section on the platform, because I know how difficult it is for people to join a platform and they don't get to introduce themselves, they don't get to mingle. You might even decide to find a wife or a husband on the community, which David is going to sponsor. David and Peter is going to sponsor the marriage, actually, not me. So we are going to do that later. I want to say thank you so much for joining, and thank you for the amazing feedback we've been getting. It's so interesting to have all of you guys together. Thank you. God bless you.
Mr. Peter, do you have something to say?
Not really. I think you guys have said everything. I just want to appreciate everybody for joining us, and I hope to do this every week when we are done. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a lovely night rest, and Alfred, have a lovely day. All right. Bye.
All right, guys. Bye.